Good evening and welcome to ANF Plus. We are looking at the forecast for the rest of the evening. I'm First Alert Meteorologist Isaac Williams, looking at some downpours inside the perimeter. These have flared up in the last hour after a dry day. We are seeing some showers and even a rumble or two in and around the city of Atlanta, outside of Buckhead, up into portions of DeKalb County and Cobb County as well. Looking at areas just west of downtown Atlanta, some heavier showers there, and then just north of Decatur and Chamblee, some heavy rain in progress there. These should not last all night long, but we might have the chance to see a few more of these linger for the next couple of hours, but I am expecting this eventually to dry out overnight. We also have some showers back to the south and west into portions of Coweta County, some showers and storms south there of Noonan, and then just across the state line into Chambers County, Alabama, that's west of LaGrange, some heavier showers and storms there. But again, this is not something super impactful, but if you get underneath one of these, you know the drill. It's going to be very heavy for a brief time because these are moving very slowly, but we don't expect any crazy flooding tonight, but underneath one of these downpours, especially in the metro, we could have some very localized nuisance flooding that should subside fairly quickly. And then in the mountains, we've got additional spotty showers in and around Helen and Clayton, up into portions of Clay County, North Carolina. Also, these, again, very spotty and should slowly weaken for the rest of the night. Here's a radar big picture, and again, some more concentrated lightning showing up just south of Noonan and then just across the state line into East Alabama. We are tracking a first alert weather day tomorrow, though, for more widespread rain activity, and I'll get to that in a second. The rest of the night tonight, we'll see, again, these localized downpours continue, but I am expecting them to ultimately fizzle by midnight. We're looking at about a 50-50 shot, though, at some rain, especially in the metro between now and 9 o'clock. And then on into the rest of the evening, we should see things die out just a bit. 76 degrees by 9 a.m. tomorrow, and that is a first alert weather day. A couple of showers possible in the morning, but notice even through lunch and the mid-afternoon, we're not expecting too much of a widespread rain chance. But after 3 o'clock, that's when heavier rain and storms is going to be building in. And then we see almost a line of rain and storms coming here sometime around sunset tomorrow evening. So it still looks like right now the best chance of widespread rain is coming from about 6 or 7 p.m. tomorrow evening through about midnight. That's across all of north and central Georgia. Some of these storms could be on the stronger side. We could see certainly some flood risk tomorrow because we're seeing much more in the way of heavy rain and widespread rain potential. But notice even through 11 p.m. tomorrow, we still have a fairly healthy line of showers and storms kind of coming through the region. Thankfully, though, this is the last big rain chance that we have for the foreseeable future, and I'll show you that on the 7-day coming up here in just a second as well. A level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather for tomorrow. This is from the Storm Prediction Center. We've seen this several times, but don't be surprised if we get a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings tomorrow for gusty wind. The primary concern, we don't have a tornado risk. There's no hail threat really tomorrow either. We're just looking at heavy rain and flooding and the possibility of a few storms to produce gusty winds of 40 to 60 miles per hour, which of course could cause some tree and power line damage. We are also in a level 1 risk of flash flooding tomorrow, just because we have had so much heavy rain recently. The metro has seen some flooding Friday and Saturday. We did get a little bit of a break yesterday on Sunday, and now we're seeing these few downpours tonight, and certainly we expect widespread rain tomorrow. So we'll keep that in mind. That's the reason that the first alert weather day is in place here for tomorrow and tomorrow evening. And there's the radar again. We have a few lightning strikes by Smyrna there, and then a couple of more storms south of Noonan there in Coweta County. But for right now, the metro seeing a few downpours linger as well. I want to talk about some rain stats. These are kind of looking ahead here to looking past, I should say, over the months. We had 20 days of this month out of 30 that saw rain at the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, a little bit south of town. In May, there were 19 of the 31 days to see wet weather. And as we kind of put this into perspective, it's actually interesting. We had another day's worth of rain in the month of June, but the rain was heavier in May, actually, and we saw 7.06 inches of rain in the month of May here in Atlanta. I say only 4.36 inches officially, but we know a lot of other surrounding spots, even in the metro and across North North Georgia have certainly seen more than that, and they have definitely seen some flooding. But officially at the airport, we have gotten 4.36 inches of rain so far this month, which again, the last day of the month is today. And a couple other rain statistics for you. This is also just kind of looking at June. The longest streak with rain in the month of June, we had 11 days in a row this month, earlier in the month, where we had rain every single day. And then the most in one day was actually, I believe it was June the 12th, which was 1.56 inches of rain. That, I believe the day of the flooding, Friday, and all the airport disruptions around here, officially, I think, just an inch of rain in the bucket there at Hartsfield-Jackson. But obviously we know more than that fell across other parts of the region. So just some interesting rain statistics. And as we kind of take a look ahead to what's coming up here, this is kind of looking at the first into the second week of July. This is looking at between July 8th and July 14th. We're looking at above average rain chances continuing across the entire state of Georgia and most of the southeast. So this unsettled pattern does look like it will be sticking around going forward here. This is kind of looking at, again, you can see in the banner, July 8th to the 14th. So this is kind of looking well into the future, kind of looking at some longer range stuff here. But here's our local 7-day forecast, because actually on the front couple of days of July, we actually have dry weather expected. But tomorrow, again, that first alert weather day, an 80% chance of rain. And again, that's really geared toward the later part of the day and into the evening. A few showers could linger on Wednesday, but right now we're kind of not thinking that's going to be too much of a big deal. A front's actually passing through the region, and that's going to bring in some drier air and some drier weather starting Thursday and Friday. But with drier air, sometimes in this pattern, winds up with hotter air. So we're looking at 91 Thursday, 93 on Friday. 4th of July, though, for outdoor plans, barbecuing, pool, river, lake, anything you're doing Friday, you should be good to go. Sunshine at 93 degrees for early July. That's it's pretty good. And the 93 is not going to feel any hotter. We actually have, again, a little bit of some drier air coming in, which is going to help out the humidity just a bit. And then Saturday looks dry. Then Sunday, though, we see that the rain chance creep back in. It's 20%, so nothing too extreme. And then a slightly better chance at a summer storm or two next Monday. But after tomorrow's first alert weather day, it looks like we have about 4 or 5 really, really quiet days coming up, and we certainly need those to kind of continue to dry things out and also heat up just a bit. We got to 88 today, which is pretty much on par. We are going to be a little warmer than usual, though, to close out the week on the 4th of July, Friday, at 93 degrees. A quick look at the tropics. We did have briefly over the weekend a tropical depression that became a tropical storm in the southwestern Gulf that moved into Mexico very quickly and weakened. So it was Barry. So we've went through Andrea and Barry, the two storms so far. This sort of elongated risk of development is actually thanks to the cold front that's bringing us storms tomorrow. And the front's going to continue pushing south of the region and stall out over Florida. And sometimes when fronts stall across Florida in late June or early July, that sometimes can spin up a weak tropical system. But right now, the Hurricane Center only giving this a 20% chance of development. So right now, they're not super concerned. We don't really see anything in our computer models that would suggest any sort of big risk of tropical developments, but we'll keep tabs on that, of course. The next name on the list is the C name, which is Chantal. So the next tropical storm or hurricane there will be Chantal, if and whenever that happens. But again, the 7-day forecast here, no tropical issues, just one first alert weather day coming up tomorrow. That rain chance at 80% with the higher rain coverage and maybe increased cloud coverage expected. We're not thinking it's going to get super duper hot tomorrow. 85 degrees, the high temperature, several degrees below normal. And then we do heat up through the rest of the week. And then the holiday weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, generally dry. Highs between 90 and 93, and morning lows staying down in the lower to middle 70s. Of course, you can always download the Atlanta News First Alert Weather app. It'll be a good resource for tomorrow as we have some active weather moving in. Of course, if there are any warnings issued for North Georgia, those come straight to the app as well. So make sure you have that on your smartphone or smart device for the latest on the forecast. And we will, of course, continue to keep you posted here on ANF Plus as well throughout the rest of the week.
30 a.m. on ANF Plus. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.